Get more money?
To get more money?
You said you're going to establish surveillance in Canada. So just to make our objective sustainable, just kind of we'll be punishing the people who are just breaking the law. Just
that's smart.
charging
Or
them.
maybe place for
That's
children.
different. I was saying, you said you would
Material.
Or
go,
building some place for young children, maybe.
you said you would go to other government agencies, right?
Maybe we could use this money to attract other funders.
Yeah. So but my point is there's one more bonus step, okay? And I want to give you guys 5 minutes to think about this as well, okay?
I want to advertise and things on social media in order to attract the company.
So here's the bonus steps. Here's the bonus steps, guys. First of all, finding stakeholders. What is a stakeholder? Do you guys know what a stakeholder is?
It's like an investor. It's like the investors.
Who has money? Who provides money? Leader
It's a business
was influence.
help us.
Anybody is a stakeholder. Anybody is a stakeholder. Look at this diagram. For example, this is for some projects with stakeholders. Stakeholders are everybody. Everybody who is affected by your project. So for example, right, there are different kinds of stakeholders. The first stakeholder is basically your partners, right? So your partner right now is your study before. They're the stakeholders because they're investing, right? But then you have primary stakeholders. Primary stakeholders in our case, right? So we said we're installing water filters at schools, right? So the primary stakeholders are the children 6 to 18 who are going to drink the water, and the community members, right? So we would say 2,000 children are in this area of the school, plus there's about 10,000 local villagers, okay? So our primary stakeholder is 12,000 people. That sounds good, right? We're saying, so this investment will help 12,000 people, right? But then you have secondary stakeholders. Secondary stakeholders are the local officials, are competitors. Maybe someone else is selling water anyways. For example, in Buirachi, one village in Khorazm, they said, okay, before we had a filter, we would have to order a truck once a week, right, to bring the water from Urgench to our town, right? So they're a stakeholder that doesn't like our project, because our project is going to give cheap water locally, right? So they will be a negative stakeholder. So my point is, there's different types of stakeholders. There are people who like your project, people who don't like your project, people who are helped by your project, people who might want to fund your project. Stakeholders is everyone affected by your project, okay? So for example, in your example, who are the stakeholders? I'll tell you, for example. The government officials, because they're affected by the fact that you're going to clean up that area, right? Stakeholders is everyone who is hurt by that pollution, right? So everyone who breathes the air of the, what town is this?
Consider region is called Yangia.
Rengia, okay? Negative stakeholders, the people who want to throw the trash there, people who don't have access to other trash bins, who want to throw the trash there, right? And then you said something interesting. You said we're going to put up cameras to make sure the negative stakeholders don't bother us.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to the government officials. We're going to clean up. We're going to get volunteers. That's another group. So you were giving us different ideas how to involve different stakeholders, right? That's the first thing. Then there's a special kind of stakeholder. That is the donor, right? The people who give you money. Usually for a grant, you guys probably know this. For a grant, they often ask you to cost share. Do you know what cost share means? Share the cost. What does that imply?
You should invest some money.
You should have other people putting in money, okay? So sometimes they say, okay, cost share, we're going to give you 14,000, but the villagers are going to do a hashar to plant the trees. That's the cost share. The villagers are going to do the voluntary equivalent of $2,000 of wages, or something like that, right? So that's the cost share. Also, you can say we have other donors. You can say, okay, Yoshlari Tifoki, please give us $1,000, but we are going to reach out to individual donations around Tashkent. We're going to make a campaign for donations online, and we're going to raise another $1,000. Or we're going to ask Eko Harakat, right, Eko Partiası, to give us another $1,000. Or we're going to reach out to the USAID Small Grants Program for $250, right? Grant makers want to see that they are not the only ones giving you money, right? That you are getting individual donations. What does individual donations mean?
Donated to one person.
Donated from one person?
Yeah, from people, right? From just private citizens, right? Individual donations, that's what we always did, right? We would always get another, like, 2,000, 5,000 from private donations. And other different organizations that you can get money from, okay? So in the next 5 minutes, the last part of this presentation, you already have a problem, root cause, solution, 3 steps to fix that problem. Now I would like to ask you, identify 2 local stakeholders, okay? So 2 groups in the community that are affected by your project, and explain how they're affected and how you will either get them involved or prevent them from hurting your project, right? You understand?
Yeah.
And give me 2 other sources of funding, 2 donors. It can be organizations, it can be individuals. Tell us 2 donors and how much money you hope to get from them, okay? So take 5 more minutes to think about that. After that, we're going to present our projects, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone think.